Today we are learning about dividing polynomials. I know I've got it when I can divide a polynomial by a monomial and use long division to divide a polynomial by another polynomial. Some key vocabulary is dividend, it's the number being divided, or the numerator if you're talking about a fraction. Divisor is the number that you're going to divide with, or the denominator in a fraction. And a quotient is the answer to a division problem. So in dividing a polynomial by a monomial, you just divide each term in the polynomial by the monomial. Okay, so if you have a polynomial divided by a monomial in this case, you are just going to separate it. Now, do you actually have to show this work? Not once you're used to it. But I'm showing you how it's done so that you can understand where I'm getting the answer from. So basically you separate it into different fractions and then just simplify. So 10 over 5 is 2, and I have 2 more t's in the numerator than in the denominator. This one, 35 divided by 5 is 7, and I have 1 more t in the numerator. And then 5t squared over 5t squared cancels out, and you just get 1. So you just break it up and simplify the fractions. Okay, next we're going to divide all of this by 3a. So now I'll show you what you can do if you don't want to write it out. 12a, well, you don't have to, but I will because I'm the teacher and I have to show all my steps. Here we go. So I'm literally breaking this into 3 separate fractions and I'm simplifying them. So that would be a negative 4a squared. 36 divided by 3 is 12. My a's cancel out. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And I have 1 more a in the denominator than in the numerator. Okay, next. All right, this is one for us to do together again. So negative 14x to the 7th divided by negative 2x to the 5th plus 6x squared divided by negative 2x to the 5th minus 6x to the 5th over negative 2x to the 5th. Okay, so a negative over a negative is a positive. So I'm going to say 7x squared. A positive over a negative is a negative 3, and I have 1 more x in the numerator than in the denominator. And then a negative divided by negative is a positive 3, and my x's cancel. So that is my final answer. Okay. All right, dividing a polynomial by a polynomial other than monomial uses long division technique that is similar to the process known as long division in dividing 2 numbers, which is reviewed on the next slide. Okay, so if any exponents are missing in the dividend, you must add those terms with the missing exponents with a coefficient of 0 before you start dividing. For example, if you have x to the 4th plus 81 divided by x minus 3, it must be written as you see below. So do you see how it's x minus 3, and you have x to the 4th plus 81, but you're missing the x cubed, the x squared, and the x. So I have to fill those in with zeros. That is extremely important. Okay, so this is just how to review long division. Go ahead and pause and you can read. Pay close attention to the actual steps because you're going to repeat those when you do polynomial long division. All right, so I'm going to do this one. So when I do long division, I say, okay, what do I need to multiply to this first term to get this first term? So what do I have to multiply to 7x to get 28x squared? I need to multiply a 4x. Now I'm going to multiply this 4x times 7x plus 3. So when I do that, I would get 28x squared plus 12x. Now you know from the last slide that we always subtract in this next step. So you multiply in this way, and then you subtract your product. So 28 minus 28 goes away. Negative 23 minus 12 would give you negative 35x. Then I'm going to drop down the 15. What do I have to multiply to 7x to get negative 35x? And negative 5. So now I'm going to multiply the 5, the negative 5 times that, and I will get negative 35x minus 15. If I subtract that, everything cancels out, and my answer is just 4x minus 5. Okay, next slide. So we're going to do this one together. So what do I need to multiply to 2x to get 4x squared? A 2x. Notice how I'm putting this above its like term. That just helps me keep everything straight. So 2x times 2x plus 7 is 4x squared plus 14x. I subtract that. These go away. Negative 6 minus 14 would be negative 20x. I'm going to bring down that plus 8. What do I have to multiply to 2x to get negative 20x? A negative 10. So I'm going to multiply that, and I would get negative 20x minus 70. When I subtract this, the 20x's go away, and I get 8 minus a negative 70, which would change into a plus, so I get a remainder of 78. So for your remainders, you always put, if it's a positive remainder, you put plus your remainder over your divisor. So it's 2x plus 7, and that would be my final answer. Okay, you're going to try one. And you should have gotten this as your final answer. Okay, here's another one for you to try. So let's see. Negative 5 minus a negative would be negative 3. You move down this 6. So your answer is y minus 3. Okay, I know I've got it when I can divide a polynomial by a monomial and use long division to divide a polynomial by another polynomial. Do you really understand? Explain how you would divide a polynomial such as that by a polynomial negative 5x plus 2. Then find the quotient. First, you would have to put the dividend in order from highest exponents to lowest exponent and then use long division. And then if you did, that would be your answer.